UN becomes a lonely place for the United States in the middle 80s. In 1986, at the height of the US onslaught against the Nicaraguan population, the UN Security Council passes a single-sentence resolution that just says, it's one sentence, just calling upon all countries, mentioning no names, to uphold international law. Full stop. The US vetoes the resolution calling upon all countries to uphold international law, of which we were not reminded in those crucial weeks and months leading up to the war with Iraq. Leading up to the war with Iraq. Mr. Rumsfeld, that's next month's speech you're reading from. I'm sorry. My fellow Venezuelans. Oh, fuck. Good morning, Syria. Fuck, give me the right fucking speech. Iraq. Leading up to crucial... all we were hearing then was Iraq is flouting the will of the UN. Isn't that like the campest word in global diplomacy? Flouting. Every time the Iraqi delegate stands up, there's the US going, oh, look at that. Resolution was called off the back of a World Court judgment, 1986, found the US guilty of unlawful use of force and deliberate targeting of civilians, citing in their judgment the use of AWACS, Airborne Warning and Communication Systems, to tell the Contras, the US-backed right-wing paramilitary death squads, the exact location of the Sandinistas, the good-looking, charismatic revolutionary heroes, not so the Contras could go to where the Sandinistas were, but so they could go to where they were not and safely attack the schools and the health centres and the village infrastructure projects. But it's not terrorism. It's low-intensity conflict against soft targets. There's a difference. Between 81 and 84 with the minimum of intensity. Contras kill 8,000 civilians, assassinate 910 state officials. So it's kind of embarrassing for the Reagan administration during Iran-Contra, when the existence of a CIA manual comes to light, which begins, it is possible to neutralize carefully selected and planned targets, such as court judges, police and state security officials. Now, during the congressional inquiry into this, the White House officials have a brilliant defense.
It's a first draft.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that is genius. First draft. Oh, that is great. Except the spirit of the thing is going to be the same. I mean, all right, court judges, tautology. You say judge, you imply the court. But first draft, the spirit of the... I mean, for example, we may, I believe, confidently assume that the first draft of Oliver Twist did not end.
At last, our hero Bill Sykes had finally caught up with the snivelling little grass who'd betrayed all his best laid plans. Bang! Oliver fell to the floor, whimpering like a little girl. As Bill Sykes stepped out into the warm, primrose-scented sunset, he felt a sense of peace, such as he had not known for many months. Fagin joined him in the lane. But where's Nancy, Bill? Where's Nancy?
Let's just say there's one less slag in the world. And they laughed and made their way to the Three Cripples pub for a slice of mincemeat syllabub and a flagon of porter. The end. There was also the Freedom Fighters Manual come to light in Iran-Contra. Freedom Fighters Manual was a curious, I guess you'd have to call it comic booklet, because it was like a 16-page booklet with 40 cartoon illustrations. And it was written by the CIA, compiled by the CIA, given to the Contras to distribute among the Nicaraguan population. And it was a whole list of ways in which the Nicaraguan people could destabilise and overthrow their government. And in case any of you have ever been curious how to overthrow a government and feel the time has come for domestic regime change, here from the horse's mouth, the CIA, from the Freedom Fighters Manual, is how. Pull down power cables. Put dirt in gas tanks. Stop up toilets with sponges. Put nails on roads. Cut and perforate the upholstery of vehicles. All the years I was a 17-year-old punk rocker, slashing the bus seats with my penknife. And my mum used to say to me, I suppose you think that's going to bring down the government? As a matter of fact, mother, I have it on the highest authority that is precisely what my actions will achieve. cut down trees over highways, telephone to make false hotel reservations, and false alarms of fires and crimes, hoard and steal food from the government, leave lights and water taps on, steal mail from mailboxes. And the next one I think we all need to think about in the context of our own lives. Go to work late. You rebellious breakdown anarchist, you've got to think about it next time. You say, oh, it's on late, my sister was in the bathroom, I couldn't get to work, and I ran for the bus and it was late, so I went to the train, it's further to work. That's beside the point, Jenkins. Have you seen the news? The government has fallen. Sorry, it won't happen again. Did tell the next one in many ways. Call in sick. Many times been that close. Madam, if that was you and it worked, then in the post-revolutionary world we would have to build statues to you, but as you were on that day, with the television brought into the bedroom and a tray of boiled eggs on your lap going... Short-circuit electricity, break light bulbs, rip up books, spread rumours. And lastly, everyone's favourite, threaten supervisors and officials over the phone. Now, is it just me, or is the Freedom Fighters Manual really the product of painstaking and meticulous research by a dedicated, hard-working CIA operative, or is it in fact the synopsis of one entire series of Top Cat? You have to wonder. So Strummer's last gig, Firefighters Benefit. Beck, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Stevie Nicks all doing private corporate gigs for like MCI, WorldCom's, Merger, Sun Microsystems, but the worst offender of all, trawling his ass through Silicon Valley, playing all the high-tech blue-chip companies, Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan. He did Applied Materials Inc., celebrating 30 years in the superconductor business. And of course, with being a corporate gig, someone would come up to him before the show and say, yeah, Bob, if you wouldn't mind mentioning Mike from accounts, because he's totally mad, it's crazy. And, also, if you could mention Phil, I've got to be careful what you say about Phil, because he's the line manager. I spoke to his wife, and she said it'd be all right to mention his ties, because they're very garish ties he always wears, but, of course, all the artists. And Dylan, with his own audiences, he says, no, I'm not going to play the hits, no, what do you think I am, a jukebox? No, I'm an audience, man, I'm not going to play... Private corporate gigs, executive service, $250,000, 90-minute set, all the hits, Mr. Dylan, you got it. All the fucking hits.
Take me for a cheap opinion, magic swirling shit. That sounds like just the type of crazy thing that Mike from accounting is always doing. Corporate CEOs, same tax bracket as me. Cisco Systems, Microsoft, and Apple. I ain't so loud a bit, I've got integrity. And later on, I'm gonna draw the raffle. And in the jingle, dawn with something blinding, shining in my eyes. Maybe it's one of Phil's crazy ties. I shouldn't be surprised. He's a proper caution, that one. Oh. Pizza Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken in a Pizza Hut. McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken in a Pizza Hut. Thank you.
Next number was inspired by a front page of the Sun newspaper 2 months ago. You may have seen it. It was a picture of a swan, a beautiful, pristine white swan. And the story was about how gangs of Eastern European asylum seekers. And I think the sort of gangs, I mean mum, dad, 2 kids and a baby, that sort of gang have been eating the Queen's swan. As all swans in the land are technically owned by the Queen, they've been eating the Queen's own magic.